Yeah. Good evening, Pulakda,
Okay.
and good evening, other friends, and good evening, the medalists and ex-alumnus, that is, alumnus of PGCBM and PGCHR, both, please. Parul and Aarti, to be specific. Oriti.
So
Oriti, okay.
very good evening.
Oriti, okay.
Sorry. So very good evening to all participants and guests. We wholeheartedly welcome you all to the Accelerate webinar on the PG certificate programs. Okay, we are glad to have Professor Ramkumar Kakani, Associate Dean VIL Programs, amongst us. Professor Kakani is a faculty in finance area and has been instrumental in designing and rolling out the virtual interactive learning programs for XLRI. We are also glad to have two of our XLRI VIL program alumnus with us today who will share their experiences on the PG certificate programs. We welcome them to the webinar. Parul Sardana is present from our Noida center. Parul is from PGCHRM batch 21 and is a gold medalist from her batch. She has served the Taj Group of Hotels as head talent acquisitions, and her overall experience with the Taj Group is about 10 years. Earlier, she had served for Prasik India and the Oberoi Group. Aritri Gupta will speak from Kolkata. She is one of the alumnus and she is from the PGCVM batch 30. Aritri is a finance executive with ITC Limited. She is with the ITC group for about 6 years, post her joining as a finance trainee. She is a BCom from Calcutta University. We will also have Mr. Darayas Mehta, the founder director of VC Now, who is who is partnered with XLRI for imparting the technology infrastructure for these programs. So just over to Professor Kakani. All the best to you, sir.
Yeah. Friends, we are open to your questions and we'd love to answer it. We look forward to it. But before we open the floor for questions, I think I'd like a few words from both Oritri and Parul. Maybe we start with Oritri. A few words about yourself and your experience in probably quick.
Yes, I'll say it.
Yeah.
Hi friends, hi everyone. Hello Kakani sir, Roy sir. This is Aritri Gupta from XLRI PGCBM batch 30. At the outset, I would like to thank all of you, the XLRI family, the faculty members, the batch coordinators, the VIL team and everyone associated with Excel to have given me this opportunity to come and share my experience here. I really feel humbled and honored to be a part of XLRI as being the alumnus. Before I begin with sharing my experience about this course, I would like to take a step back and make you probably understand as to why I chose XLRI for doing this postgraduate certification. My background is I did my graduation in BCom Honours from Calcutta University in 2011. Post which,
Yeah, please carry on.
I did my graduation from Calcutta University in 2011, post which I joined ITC Group in personal care products business as a finance and procurement professional. So after 2-3 years of work experience, I felt the need of pursuing my masters to upgrade my career in my organization and for my future, for my personal growth. Hence, I chose XLRI. I did not want to quit my job. At the same time, I wanted to learn something about the management, about the business management, about the other functions of the management to grow in my career. XLRI has its legacy and is an epitome of reputation of being the best and the finest, as we all know. It is the most respected and trusted brand in education. Excel's value system lies in putting people first, imparting the best education and doing things for the greater good, as the tagline says. So I would like to quickly brief about my experience and the program structure in 3 sections. First, I would like to talk about the campus component, which is the most exciting part of this program. It's really amazing to meet all the faculty members, the fellow batchmates and everyone in the XLRI family under the same roof in the campus and share some amazing education, learning with fun-filled, ice-breaking games, activities, cultural programs. doing the classroom interactive sessions, the participations, the trainings actually. You feel like family in the campus, and for me it has been a life-changing experience. I will always cherish the memories forever. About the faculty, you get the best faculty here in XLRI, a class apart. They have excellent rapport with the students. I would like to mention about Kakani sir, Manish Singhal sir, Sanjeev Varshney sir, Rajkumar sir, my favorites, and all the above professors whom I would not mention right now. Everyone, they are like of huge support. Any problem, any help required during the program, they are just a call or an email away. Including the teaching assistants who are of immense help for all the students, virtually. So the curriculum is brilliantly carved out for the working executives, the managers, with learning expertise, with interactive sessions, assignments, case studies, etc. So you don't want to read the book, you just read the case studies, you attend the classroom sessions, and you are through. The exams are like MCQs, quizzes, midterms, end terms, and assignments, which are of huge learning. Like, you do one assignment and you know about the entire subject. So lastly, my takeaways, again, VIL program, so everything is virtually. The classrooms, the live telecasts, the sessions, everything had been really smooth for my batch, and I have had an amazing experience. So my takeaways from this course would be: number one, recognition at my workplace; number two, subject matter expertise, my organizational awareness, the other functions of my ITC which I was not aware of previously. Now I am, more accustomed to the other functions, divisions of the business. My confidence has raised. I really feel very happy, proud and confident to be a part of this course, part of XLRI family. I have not taken a wrong decision in doing this by not leaving my job at the same time. So I would like all the aspiring people to opt for this course, who don't want to leave their job, they want to study and work together, to enhance their personal skills, professional growth. So I would wish all of them I would wish all of them luck and prosperity, and please come and join the XLRI family. Thank you so much, sir.
So, friends, I think Oritri very nicely summarized the aspect, and most important thing is, if you observe the work experience of Oritri, 6 years, and Parul, 10 years, typically it captures probably our ideal target segment in that sense. They've got that width of experience to relate to something which probably in a classroom for a fresh student, we may take about 6 hours to cover. Maybe in this case, about 3 to 3.5 hours should be good enough. On those lines. Thanks. And we move to Parul. Parul, quick words, and then we take FAQs from you after you are done.
So, good evening, everyone. I'm Parul Sardana, and I've been a student of PGCHRM, which is the program on the VIL platform for human resource management. So I'm not going to repeat what has been shared here in the interest of time already, but I want to speak briefly about the scope and the depth of the subjects that the HRM program has. So briefly, if I have to club all that we study in the human resource management program, I would put it into 4 buckets. The first would be understanding human resource management as a business partner in organizations rather than having only a narrow domain view, which means subjects like operations management, subjects like marketing, subjects like training and development, which may be outside the purview of core domain HR, are subjects that we study in order to build an understanding of the working of the organization as an individual single entity rather than just department. The second bucket of the content that we cover would be core HR functionalities, which would include subjects like competency-based human resource management. It includes subjects like performance assessment. It includes subjects like employee compensation and benefits. And these are core HR expertise subjects that any good HR professional in India must have a tremendous grasp of. The third bucket, which is I think by far the most value creating in this program, and it is XLRI's renowned for, is the industrial relations bucket, IR. And any HR professional in India cannot succeed without without a working knowledge, at least, of industrial relations in India, of labor laws, the labor workforce in India, as well as also then related subjects like collective bargaining. So this is really the heart of human resource management, especially in an environment like India. And I think this has been probably one of the single most important aspects of human resource management, because typically unless HR professionals are working in organizations where they are exposed to industrial relations, your knowledge, your subject knowledge or your expertise regarding industrial relations remains very, very superfluous, and it can make or break an organization in a country like India. The fourth very important bucket again is organizational behavior, and we cover subjects like organizational change, we cover subjects like cultural management, individual behavior, group behavior in organizations. And if I was to sum it up, while this platform exists for human resource professionals who have had some quantum of work experience, but the nature of the way this program is structured helps to build a foundation in human resource management for those who would like to get into human resource management or would like to explore human resource management as an area of professional growth, as well as it provides a very, very dive deep, comprehensive coverage on some very critical subjects that human resource management professionals must have a good grasp of. So it works both in terms of an inverted pyramid by covering the basics, by helping solidify the base of the pyramid, as well as also providing very, very in-depth knowledge about some very critical HR functionalities, especially subjects like industrial relations, especially subjects like competency-based human resource management. I have a lot of experience now in the HR field in the corporate sector, and I can say that with a lot of confidence, I can say that the content and the quality of the curriculum is really on the cutting edge of human resource management practices globally. So it's absolutely worthwhile to engage or to enroll in this program, and I think it's absolutely worth it. What's also important, I think, for all those who are aspiring is not to look at it as a quick conversion, saying that now I have an XLRI stamp and how much more can I negotiate with my prospective employer, but to take a long-term view about the kind of learning or even the kind of interest in a particular subject. And HR can be a very, very dry subject, but what is remarkable is that the faculty at XLRI manages to create in all of us, at least in me, a lifelong desire to learn and develop HR understanding. And I think that orientation is something that going forward will reap dividends for every HR student who enrolls in this program far beyond the 12 months of the program. So it's absolutely worth it to enroll in this program.
Thanks, Parul. That was, I think, for those words. In fact, I would say those four buckets which you described, right from industrial relations, organizational behavior, and those interdisciplinary courses, etc. I think it captures the crux of PGCHRM in a very nice way. Let's move to, I think we also have a couple of that is guests, in fact, friends and my friends who would like to speak, because not because they'll give us the partner perspective, they'll give the perspective of the partner. So request Darayus from Bombay to speak a few words regarding his take.
Thank you, Professor Kakani. Good afternoon, everybody, and the alumnus also. So I think it's always a pleasure, talking to candidates, because I think, we keep on doing that. So we've been academic counselors also with a lot of students for almost a decade now. And I think the way we would like to, kind of put it is, the objective of this program. So if I were to really, share so we talk to so many candidates, who are at the cusp of 6 to 7 or 8 years of work experience and are kind of, looking at something, to get something out of growth in a career in their own self-development. And I think that's where, the transformation of careers, is really very important. And this program actually plays a big role in career transformation of individuals, in terms of the business management program. I mean, we see that the batch profile is a large part of them are IT executives, people with a technical background, engineering background, people who have missed doing their MBA. And I think when we talk to a lot of candidates, we also come across people who would, have their ambition or dream of doing a program from a premium institute like XLRI, and having missed it, because they had the compulsion of getting onto a job. And one of the driving force or factors is that, I wish I could have done it, but now is the time and opportunity for us to do it. Likewise, I think we find that a lot of technical business, the engineering, IT, software company people, the batch, has a big number of people from there. And we find that, their objective is to kind of move out from, a coding or a project management kind of a function to a business driving function. And so on and so forth for even people from other, fields, from manufacturing, from service industry, or from FMCG, etc. I think, without the working executive MBA, you tend to get, kind of, into a field where you don't see growth in your career as well as in your own self. So this program actually helps you transform that, both from a career perspective as well as from an individual perspective, and gives you that all well-rounded perspective. If it's a business management program, it gives you such a well-rounded perspective of the business, of the functions of an organization, that after 1 year, when you step out and after doing this program, you are confident, and your thought process changes, your capability changes, and your confidence with which you present yourself. That makes a big difference from you from a career perspective as well as your individual growth perspective. Because for 1 year, in that span of 1 year, you would have covered 18 core subjects of business management, ranging from things like finance, where Professor Kakani's, I think, wonderful class of finance for non-finance executives. So basically from finance, accounting, even HR, operations, strategy, business analytics, quantitative analytics, marketing, sales, retail, logistics, supply chain, e-commerce, digital marketing. So by the time you come out of this program, your mind would have opened up to such a lot of things that you never knew, before. Plus, the fact is that, over here, I think the platform itself, enables you to, deliver the content or the lectures in a very interactive manner, and it doesn't change the paradigm of teaching or learning. So the faculty can teach the way he would normally teach in a class. The student normally takes the class as he would normally take it in a normal classroom, where people can, raise their hands and say, I have a question. And it also, therefore, creates a lot of collaboration, a lot of discussion-based method, a lot of case study-based discussion-based method. And every concept, therefore, is discussed in the lights of people's experiences, domains, profiles, geographies. And therefore, one single concept after the faculty is explained, the kind of inputs that, the other working executives bring in from their experiences actually creates a lot more value addition, intellectual property of that concept. And therefore the learning is so much more incremental and inclusive, and not a one-way kind of understanding. So this is, I think, in short, we feel even for the HR, I think, what I think the lady spoke just before us was very nice. And we find that, when we've been counseling candidates from the HR perspective, I think the people again are on the cusp of, moving from a generalist profile to a specialist HR role. And this program actually helps you do that, from moving from a generalist 6 to 8 years of generalist profile to moving on to a higher order functions in the HR, function. So this, I think, is the essence of the career transformation, the self-development and the self-transformation, which the program is able to deliver. So thank you so much, Professor Kakani, for giving us the opportunity to talk. Pulak, if you have, something to add, otherwise we can go on to the FAQs.
Yeah, thanking both our alumnus to be a part of the meeting today. I think they have found time for ourselves to come here and talk and share some experiences on their own self to all others who are wanting to aspire to do a program from XLRI. I would just take 2 minutes to share the importance of the program in terms of how different is it in the market today, because we have multiple programs running with similar titles, in business management, in human resource management. In both these streams together, we have been delivering equal numbers year on year, and I think the programs have become stronger for the last about 15 years we are here, and it has always gone bigger and bigger in terms of a batch size, and I think that is because of the confidence and the rigor of the program. The XLRI takes this program extremely seriously, including the assessments and evaluation and everything. So we would only invite people to join us who are extremely serious with their thought process, and needless to say that they do not desire a paper MBA. So XLRI is not meant for paper MBA. You have to. There is a lot of learning involved. There is a lot of growth involved. As Parul said that slow and steady growth, but yes, growth for sure. So that is something which you can expect from it. This is the only program on the online front or on the virtual interactive learning front which offers a convocation or a graduation ceremony. That means after you complete the program, you get to pick up your certificate over a graduation ceremony which is held in Jamshedpur itself, including the alumni status also once you complete this. This alumni status itself gives you an opportunity of a huge networking, so that you can join up with your peers, do the network, and try to secure a great position for yourself. So I think the alumni status is also what you invest upon. And these are the two high points. Apart from that, we also have the campus component, which is extremely critical aspect of it. 5 days of rigorous learning inside the campus, and a lot of ice-breaking sessions, as Arithri also pointed out. So a lot of excitement there once you are there. It brings you a sense of being involved with the institution. And I think that is all what XLRI is all about. That is all what I have to say in terms of that. But the last point is that a lot of corporates have trusted in this program, starting from Wipro, Aditya Birla, Royal Bank of Scotland, ICICI, to name a lot of host of companies who have sponsored their people for these programs during the years. And I think year on year we are getting stronger. Over to Professor Kakani.
Yeah, friends, I think thank you Pulakda and thank you Darais. We take it further to those FAQs that are there. Should we answer them or should we take something live?
Live will take later, sir.
Okay, so some of those questions which are there, I'd like to respond to them. Aarti Sahai Gurgaon said, is the evaluation semester based? Yes, it is semester based, and typically what happens is the whole course is divided into how many modules? 3 modules, and each of these module consists of about 6 to 7 courses, because we've got total 20 courses into 15 hours. So each of these courses is part of a certain module, and those modules, once they are over, definitely your grade sheet gets updated. However, as soon as the course is over and depending on the speed of the faculty, the grades are typically released. What is the selection process for this course? Typically, it is selection is interview based. However, maybe we can take a tip or two from Parul. If you could give a tip or two, please, to the candidates.
So I think the first criteria for selection is when you apply for the program, there is also an essay that XLRI asks you to write on what you hope to take away from the program. And I think the professors have adequate experience to judge and filter aspiring candidates who have a learning orientation from those who may not have one. The second round of assessment is the interview. It's a personal interview. It's conducted over the VIL platform. One thing that I want to share is that from personal experience that we may not have too much experience of learning or interacting on the VIL platform, but like was shared earlier, it doesn't take away any of the value that gets created through these transactions. So the second level of assessment is an interview, and then XLRI will announce the selected candidates. Typically, I think year on year, XLRI selects about 1 in every 10 students who apply, which is a good thing because it means that the application process is rigorous, the selection process is rigorous, which means that the investment that XLRI is putting into its students is, they're very serious about the students that they would like to invest in. Because once you're a part of the XLRI program and once you graduate, you're also a brand ambassador for XLRI. So that is definitely dovetailed into the selection process itself.
Thank you. And the next one, thanks Parul. Next one is essentially, the question is here. Ashish is writing, good afternoon. To avoid mishiring to improve company's performance, which are the qualities among the candidates one recruitment manager has to examine? I guess it's part of a course which you will be taking if in case you get selected by as part of PGCHRM. So Ashish, I think I'm taking it as a bouncer and doing what typically batsmen do. That is well left. Next is Seema Jaiswal asks, please share with us the duration of the program. Duration of the program is about 12 months. Often, so you start in January, and by the next January you are done, and typically you get convocated. In other words, in case you get selected by April 2019, second Saturday of April 2019, you can expect yourself to be convocated. Next is Anwar Hussain says, how XLRA certificates course are going to help experienced engineering graduates in government sector organization for HRD. I guess Anwar, I think the selection panel itself will check out how much of HR orientation you have. A. B. You will also agree that you need to be able to relate if somebody is talking something which is as specific as HR, and let's say you were a shift in charge or maintenance engineer as part of a giant steel plant. So my sense is, unless your job probably has something linked to it, I really doubt in case. Next is I tried to log in and register through URL. However, I think Roy should be able to answer it. Ashish Bhattacharya says he's not been able to log in and enter the details. If you could answer.
Actually, exactly what type of problem it was, if you can write a mail to us, and email ID is sroy@xlra.ac.in, then we'll help you definitely.
Okay. Next query is, how does this placement help us in our placements? I think let Oritri answer this, our alum she should be better able to answer this one.
This program is for the working executives who are already placed somewhere. So for your growth in the organization or in your future endeavors, it will help in terms of your learning. So you get your batchmates who are from diverse fields, industries, functions. You get networking. You can apply through those companies from where your batchmates are coming. So that this is a platform of, diverse people coming with different age groups and from different functions, businesses, be it a bank, be it a manufacturing organization, be it IT. So even doctors do come for this management course. So this is not the area of a placement, but of course you will get a network of people where you can apply. And this is hugely of your own learning and your self-development and improvement for your future. Yeah.
In other words, what I think she's also saying is, don't look at it from a career change perspective. If you are expecting an immediate change in career due to this, my sense is probably no. Yes, it probably helps in career enhancement, and often what happens, a few things which we keep on doing during our whole lifetime of about 25, 30 years, etc., they get added to our subconscious, and it does help us at a later point in time when such decision points and decision making issues come. Your subconscious is better able to revert if your conceptual grounding is fine. That is the way I'd probably respond to it. The next one is, I'm into service industry, and what are the avenues down the line? I have 12 years experience. Srinivas, I think, again, I can only say that we've done well. As far as XLRI goes, we've been doing this programs from 2002 onwards, and as on date 6,500 people have graduated out of this postgraduate certificate programs that we have. And trust me, I typically, you can say, sign, that is verify the grade sheets which come from either a recruiter or a visa office or a consulate office or some verification agency. Typically about 10 odd grade sheets or certificates I verify every week. So whether it is, I think I leave the response to you. 6,500 guys out there, already there in the market. Every cycle we have about 100 odd PGCBM and 100 odd PGCHRM, 100 to 150. And we've done well. I think that's what we've done extremely well. So that's how it is. I think I'll put it this way. Next is, this is Yatin from New Delhi. Since you mentioned there would be campus visit for 5 days at the end of the program, do we need to attend exam in Jamshedpur? Yatin, to make a person, that is to make students experience campus, we do have one campus-based examination compulsorily set as part of the campus component. And yes, campus component is compulsory. As Oritri earlier pointed out, probably it is one of the most memorable things as part of the PGC courses that are there. Next is, this is Ashish Bhattacharji, and I'm looking forward to pursuing PGC HRM curriculum. My questions is, in day-to-day functioning, we have to do a lot of hirings. Now, to avoid mishiring and thus, I think I just answered saying you need to experience the course to respond to such queries. If I were to know of such a query, Ashish, I don't think I'll be here. I'll be part of some HR firm out there working along with you, right? Suchi Satish says, is there any specific session on diversity and inclusion in the HR module? So Parul, maybe you might help answering this.
Yes, there is an entire course that is titled Cross-Cultural Management, and it's taught by an extremely it's taught by a professor who has diverse, more than 30 years of experience working across different cultures as well. So to answer your question in short, yes, we have a course that specifically deals with diversity and inclusion. not just diversity as related to the Indian subcontinent, but as an HR professional, and we are living in an environment where there are multilaterals, and we are now moving to an environment where most organizations are multicultural globally. This course also addresses dealing with diversity and inclusion across cultures globally. So if that is an attraction, then you're absolutely in the right place, and this is a good program to explore.
Excellent. Next is hello everyone. I'm part of working in 6 years US IT staffing. My current role is consultant marketing. Yet it's a night shift job and I'm seriously looking for a change in industry. How beneficial will be a certification course such as PGCBM or PGCHRM? I guess, Saurav, I think it's a good question. I leave the response to you. I've already given a few data points to you. However, my sense is definitely opportunities come. I think, why don't you also talk about that VPNB that we have?
VPNB, that's what, when that placement was, someone was asking about placement facilities, I was expecting that Auri3 will say something about our VPNB. That is, we have for our VIL students one, particular portal, virtual placement notice board, where all the students do, post whatever, openings are there in their organization on that particular portal, so that across platform and different students, they can, wherever they want, they can apply and they can go ahead. Other than that, our regular students, there are, if you go into that particular site, you will find there are a couple of outside recruiters even, they have registered and they do access our profile of our VI students.
Excellent. Thank you. I think next one is as learning is a continuous process, especially in IR domain. So after completing this program, will I get any support if I need answers for any particular issue? Good query. I'd say it depends on your rapport relation and the kind of things which you did as part of your stint during the program. But let me put it this way. If I remember the student as part of that course, it's very difficult to imagine that I'll not respond to a query which comes from a student whom I remember. So the same probably more or less applies across the board. I may not be able to give you the complete answer, let's say, for any query, but definitely I guess the anchor should be in place even at a later point in time.
Particularly for this case, I can remember once I have seen one student after getting his certificate, after around 2 to 4 years later, he came to XLRI to discuss with any of our faculty about some particular problem, and that was optimization in his organization. He came here all the way from most probably Delhi or Mumbai to discuss about optimization of certain particular area of his organization.
Excellent. Next is how to see this webinar on iPad later. So maybe Pulakda, you may respond to this. For me, it's not a question to answer.
Yeah, I will take that. So yeah. I think normally this webinar works on desktops as well as the mobile platforms also. I mean, I don't see a reason why it should not work on an iPad also. I mean, it's working on a Android phone, and I guess it should work on an iPad too, because we continue to support all platforms. I mean, maybe there is a recording. You could see the recording.
Yeah, we will share the recording. Yes.
Excellent. Uday says, what is the intake for the next batch? I heard Parul mention 1 out of 10 are selected after the SOP and personal interview process. Not so severe, but definitely it is. There is a process of interview and SOP. My sense is, in case you had heard the tips which she had mentioned, I really doubt you should be not. My sense is you should be. There is a fair chance that you should be in the program. Please elaborate the examination process guidelines. So maybe Auri3 might help you. Maybe you can give an example or two, Auri3, in terms of examination process.
Yeah, so we have all the exams in patterns of quizzes. midterms, end terms, and assignments. So for 100 marks, for percentage being 100, you get 30% for assignment, 30 for midterm, 60 and 40 for the end term. So it's divided like that, and it's a continuous process. So if you don't attend the classes well and you don't do the assignments well, then there's a problem for scoring better in the MCQs and the quizzes. So a lot of class participation is required because it's not possible for us, who are working, to read all the books and all the chapters in the book. So class participation, asking the professors about your queries will help a lot. Assignments, the group assignments, actually, you learn a lot from your batchmates. You help each other, you learn from each other, and that's how you score well. In total 100. So if you do assignment well, if you don't do the end term well, still you get better marks. The grades come out better.
Next one is a wonderful query. Thanks, Ritri. Next one is Deepa Chauhan says, my question is, how difficult do you think it is to manage the program along with your current job? Please share your experience. So before anyone else answers, let me respond to it, Deepa. I think it is extremely important that you have created a buy-in from your family before you take courses and programs such as this. In other words, see, I am expecting about 6 hours of classroom and probably another 5 to 6 hours of at least your own that is study hours for this particular program per week. So if we are expecting 12 hours there and 40 hours as part of, let's say, your office schedule, etc., definitely temporarily there might be a slight dip in your office work performance, or even your work pressure might be slightly there. But my sense is looking at 6,500 guys graduating means definitely the program has got its own there is a continuous momentum out there, and important is you need to work it out with your family before you get into the program. That's what I'm trying to say. Parul, anything more?
Yes, I just want to share this maybe for all the students who are aspiring. Since it is for working professionals, you're going to be holding down jobs, you have families. Ultimately, what is going to be able to work in your favor is if you're very, very clear at the start of the program, what is the purpose for which you're enrolling in this program. And to keep that purpose alive through the 1 year, it will help you to prioritize, and it is definitely going to be about on a daily basis having to make choices. I can assure you, you're going to miss a lot of the movies that you probably in the 1 year that are going to be released. So you have to show up for work, but it's probably going to leave you with a lot less leisure time. And like Professor said, that your family's buy-in is important, but what is most important is in your own life, in your own mind, in your own head. You're very, very clear about why you're doing this program and what you hope to get out of it. If the outcome is very clear, if the purpose for which you've enrolled is very clear, then you will find it much, much easier to deal with the day-to-day challenges that will come up when you find yourself stretching. The second thing is, from personal experience, I can share that no matter how much we may be mentally prepared, it does take a month or two to kind of settle down. You suddenly find that you've moved from maybe third gear to running at fifth gear, but just hang in there, don't give up, don't throw in the towel, and maybe by the second month or by the third month you tend to settle down, get into the groove of studying regularly or attending classes on time, and I think that's when it starts to also become a lot more fun. So that's about some tips that might help you.
Yeah, thank you. And next is Ravi Bhalla says, can I know what's the context of the interview? Context, I think Parul already answered, and Oritri also gave enough hints. So my sense is the context of I guess we are looking forward to your learning ability and aspects related to those, and your ability to connect your industry experience with what you are looking forward to taking. But let's take one phone call query that is there. Yes, I would request the phone call query to be online, and I'd request the participant to ask.
We will just scroll the number on the screen. So anybody who is wanting to make a call can make the call. And most of the answers which are not answered here on spot, we will make sure that we answer them down the line over a mail.
Should I keep carrying on? Okay, till any telephone call comes, I think I'd take up the next query. What's the total cost involved to complete the PG certificate program? So my sense is only my administrative officer would be able to make it. Please go ahead, Roida.
Cost in what sense? That also depends. You know, when you are talking in terms of money, then already that is there in our website. That cost of the program for BM is 2,40,000 and for HR 2,50,000 plus our GST.
I would like to add a little in this. I think, cost is not the way to look at it. Professor Kakani would, teaching finance, he would, share more light on it. This is money. They say, there is a saying, which is a very nice saying, that money spent on education is not an expense. It's an investment. And I can only tell you that much, that whatever you invest, you'll reap manifold in the next few years, very soon. And not only, from a financial perspective, but from many more other intangible aspects also, from developmental aspects of an individual, your growth aspects, your network aspects. So there are many ways in which you will see a return on investment.
Excellent. I think next is what is the USP of the course? I guess USP of the course probably is our ability to reach and reach essentially people from nook and corner of the country who are interested in taking this up. Probably is its biggest USP, and trust me, I think teaching and teaching feedback of a faculty matters a lot. So really difficult to imagine that any faculty will come here and do time pass. And even the selection of the faculty is fairly appropriate. So in that sense, that's the way I'll put it. But from a alum perspective, let's take it from the alums. What's the USP of Orithri, if you could help us?
Yeah, first would be the brand itself. It's Accelerate. As we all know, it's one of the most reputed and trusted brand in education. The faculty, the teaching, the education mode, the case studies, very realistic and very practical. You can actually learn a lot by only attending the classes. And, you can actually go to your organization, to your next future company, and you can actually apply. Your confidence would automatically rise up, and you will be a very confident person in terms of your, work life. Then the entire program's structure is, very nice, very educative, fun-filled. You won't feel the stress at one point in time, but you have to give your best for the future endeavors. You will learn a lot in this course, which will be with you throughout. So you'll come out with flying colors at the end of the course.
Okay, now one call has come.
I think there is a call, so let's take it up.
Hello?
Hello,
Yeah, please go ahead.
my name is Hamsini Appadre and I'm calling from Bangalore.
Okay,
I applied for the PGCBM
okay.
and I'd like to know what happens when we travel on week for a week or so. Would it be possible for us to log in from wherever we are for those classes?
See, when you are talking about direct to desktop, no, it is not direct to desktop mode program. But yes, you can attend classes when you are in travel. Suppose you are in some city, wherever you are, and we have study center of this particular, technical partner, UCS. And through that particular study center, some, students are doing this program. Then you will be able to attend classes from there.
Okay. Now, I travel abroad on work, not very often, but every 3 months I travel abroad on my work.
Every 3 months you do travel abroad.
So
For a week. I travel for a week abroad.
I guess there is a facility for archive facilities are there.
Yes, archive facility is there. Once you are going abroad, and if it is for 1 week time, then it's fine. But again, a type of seriousness of this program, attendance is a compulsory part for this particular program. If you are missing any live class, and that class, then only by viewing the archive you will not get the attendance. You have to be present in that particular class.
But trust me, I think let me add to what he's saying. In 3 months, probably missing a week or two, I think you can, if you are a learning type student, my sense is you should be able to easily sail through. That's the way I would probably respond to it.
Okay. Maybe planning ahead, I will plan to see how much I can put off my travels. I would probably put it off. Travel as minimum as I need to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Next is, in case of relocation due to profession reason, is there a possibility to change the course center? Darayus, if you may respond to this, please.
Yes. I think what Mr. Roy also suggested that, so we have centers in 30 cities. We have 40 centers covering 30 cities of India and covering most of the state capitals. So any relocation, you are most welcome. You can change from that city to the other city where we have the center. You're most welcome to participate from the other center. And like we just mentioned earlier also, if you're traveling from your your main location to another location on work, I mean, as long as there's a center in that city, we will, make sure that, you can attend from there also. So that should not be an issue at all.
Perfect. I think next one, there was a phone call. Is it?
No, not only.
Okay. I think that adds to this thing. I think Sajal seems to have very nicely put there.
Sure, one.
Okay, there's one more query online. Let's take it up.
Hello.
Okay. Next is, by any chance, is there any flexibility in class timings for PGCBM, as my office starts at 6:30 p.m. and goes on till 3:30 a.m.? That's a...
No.
I guess we take up the next query there.
Hello.
Yeah, my name is Swarup calling from Hyderabad. Is it XLRA online?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, my point would be I have about 13 years of experience in HR and IR.
Okay.
And I remember that I'm finding my colleagues are going ahead with higher learnings and higher packages.
Okay.
So my question is am I able to learn something which is very essential in the profession? Because what industry expects and what I am, there is a small gap, if I'm not wrong. So I'm expecting some sort of counseling or mentoring in that, coaching, something, whatever it may be. Will it happen in this course, sir?
I think let Parul answer this one.
Yeah,
Our alum Parul will respond to this.
definitely.
So if I understand correctly, you're saying that you have 13 years of work experience in HR and IR, and you would like to know if this PGCHRM course will create any additional value. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yes,
so,
correct.
all right. So, yes, it will definitely create value. The reason why I say this with a lot of confidence is because of something that one of our professors used to also tell us. And he said that, there is only that much you can cruise on common sense. So, I do understand that in many companies, a lot of the human resource professionals, HR and IR professionals, are those who have kind of learned all of their learnings regarding HR on the job. But human resource management, something that you will definitely come to understand once you enroll in this program, human resource management is very, very scientific. It's based on some very sound principles. It's almost approaching a science. And that kind of grounding is far beyond simple on-the-job common sense learning. So it doesn't matter if you have 13 years of work experience or 23 years of work experience. There is a huge amount of value add in terms of learning for HR professionals through this program. So I do hope that you will consider this program seriously.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Next is, I think, one more query there. I have low scores in my 12th and BTech, which I passed out 10 years ago, and subsequently I'm working with product and technology blue chip companies. How important is merit education background? My response to this particular query is, if you're meeting the minimum norms which have been specified as part of this particular program's entry, that is, if you're meeting the minimum norms, you're definitely part of the interview. Now, I think it is up to you and the tips given by our alums there and how you sail through the interview process. I wouldn't like to kind of elaborate further beyond that. Next is, could you please explain how you are conducting the online VC class? It's chapter wise, or is there any prefixed schedule of online class? As a student, we get info before next class. Please guide on this. So I think maybe you can, we do have of course, every week we have 6 hours. And to my knowledge, our sessions are, I think PGCBM are scheduled at Saturday 6:30 p.m. 3 hours and Thursday 6:30 p.m. 3 hours. PGCHRM is Friday 6:30 p.m. 3 hours and Sunday 3 p.m. 3 hours. So this schedule is there, and once you are once you are selected, difficult to imagine that the schedule is not shared with you. Of course, the schedule of the next 2-3 months is all there. Let's take an online query there. Yeah, go ahead, please. Phone.
Hello.
Oops. I guess somebody, I think, rang and gave it quits at the last minute. Next is, please elaborate on the examination process, placement guidelines we've already done. And what else? I guess last 2 queries that would be there is, how will PGCBM help me in growing within my organization? And how is the market acceptability of this program? Amish Chadda writes. So before I give it to Orithri, let me put it this way. PGCBM is the program which we started first. PGCHRM was added after a certain time, and my sense is the variety, the diversity of the audience is much more in PGCBM. In PGCHRM, most of our participants have some sort of an HR background. So that's the way it is. Acceptability within your organization, of course, it's between you and your organization, but definitely, as I put it, take this particular course as a career enhancer. But prima facie, you are thinking from a fertilizer industry, you will move to a software industry based on this. My sense is, so I really do not think it will happen. So that's the way I would say this. But Orithri, you want to add to this? Market acceptability of the program?
Yes. So I have got a lot of feedback about, from my previous batchmates as to how they have, grown in their organizations and how it has helped them to, get recruited by other companies. So yes, there is a market acceptability after you go, end this course. And also your organization should recognize you that you have, done this course in a better way and you have learned a lot. You should sell to the people, to the organization, that yes, you have, this certificate of yours, you have a lot of learning, you have the management skills, the people management, the stress management, and the efficiency in your work. So yes, that's how you will be recognized everywhere.
Yeah, I would like to add, in terms of the market acceptability, I think just the fact that, there are 6,500 glorious alumni now quite well placed within the industry is a testimony to the fact that this program is highly accepted and recognized in the industry. I mean, any program, I mean, is known by the duration it's been there in the market. I mean, the longer the program is there in the market, the stronger the word of mouth and the alumni that kind of is prevalent in the market. So I think on both counts, by far, this is, I think, one of the few programs in the market as far as working executive MBAs are concerned in India, which is by far, the having been there for the maximum duration in the market, as well as has a large, huge, well-placed alumni, right?
Okay. Great. I think next one is a query which says regarding the alumni status and acceptability of the program. So maybe Roida, you may like to respond to this query.
Yeah, about alumni status, I would like to tell you, share here that after completion of VIL program, you will get XLRI alumni status, and which is as good as our regular XLRI alumni. There is no distinction between VIL alumni and XLRI in-campus full-time regular program alumni. So this is another plus point.
I think, friends, it's already 1 hour. We'll take leave, but all the queries that are there, remaining queries, they'll be responded to you by email. Let me take this opportunity before we close to thank Parul and Orithri personally for being part of this. Thank you so much, and your feedback is important. Please do keep in touch.
Yeah, just one before we end, I think we'd like to share that I think before the Diwali holidays, if whoever is interested, if they could complete the registration process before the Diwali holidays, so that would give us time to go through the applications for the selection perspective, because soon after the Diwali holidays, the end date is kind of approaching, and therefore we don't want everybody to kind of wait till the last few days to kind of then overload and burden us. So it would be nice if you could whoever is interested and clear in their mind to complete the registration and application process before the Diwali holidays. And I think on that very note, we wish, I think, you and your families very happy and prosperous Diwali. Pulak, if you want to close it.
Yeah, thank you for all your patience and time, and thanks to both our guests who have found time for us, and we will get back to you very soon. Our people will get in touch with you in case you face any difficulties during registration and application. We will be of help to you. Meanwhile, the number which is displayed here, that is also our VIL studio number, wherein in case you have any queries on the spot, you can always call up during office hours, and alternatively our people will also get in touch with you. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you Kakani sir for your valuable time, Roy sir, and the entire VIL team.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks Parul, and thanks.